Don't talk about my KD level on Warzone. We playing Black Ops 6. Let's talk about my KD on that one. You feel me? Clap it.
Get down.
Yeah. Come see me in Rose Game. I'll be ready to fight. How you guys doing? My name is Hero. This is Coding with Strangers, and I saw the Black Ops 6 commercial, and they brought back the dude. And a lot of people didn't know that the dude in the commercial, he's basically replacing you because he's there to take over and do whatever job you're supposed to be doing in place of you so you can go play Black Ops 6. And I saw a lot of people watching that commercial and confused in the trailer like, how is this a Black Ops 6 commercial? And in Black Ops 4, he's actually an operator. So like, that's just a little bit of lore for you right there if you weren't up to your Black Ops lore. The commercial has history. But, you know, with Black Ops 6 coming out and me being a person who had the pre-order, and I actually have it I got it 3 days early, but I've just been too busy. Life, right? But it did make me wonder, like, okay, this is a programming channel, and we're pseudo gamers. I think we have the right to call ourselves gamers. We play video games. We did Rocksmith. We did Warzone. We'll be doing Assassin's Creed Shadows. Fami's gonna suggest a Zelda game for me to play. We're getting there. We're getting there. But since we're not all the way there, let's take the tech approach here. In programming, there's a thing called bug bounty, where you can find issues and exploits in video games, programs, websites, the lot. And companies will pay you for disclosing and fixing those bugs if possible. And with that being said, there's so much talk about cheating in Warzone. As a person who plays Warzone, it's one of the quickest ways to make me say, okay, I'm done for the night. Running into a cheater, because once again, I'm not good by any stretch of the imagination. But when I'm playing with my exceptionally good friends, and we get into some of their rooms, I see how they maneuver and how they move and how people on that game wipe me off the fucking earth quicker as hell. So it's very apparent to me when I'm playing by myself and I'm in a .002 KD room and some dude is literally shooting me from across the map while I'm floating trying to figure out is loadout safe or not. I'm in the wrong lobby. But thank goodness for anti-cheats, right? And there's been a lot of questions about how to implement anti-cheat. There was some discussion about putting it on the kernel level of everyone who chooses to download that, which would give them unfettered access to your system, which no one would really recommend. Like, that's just too much power for one company. And then there are other ways of probably finding them, and that's where the bug bounty aspect of this comes in. But for right now, we're going to cover a story that talks about how Activision has fixed the anti-cheat for Modern Warfare and Call of Duty Warzone. And from this article, try and ascertain how they did it. Is it going to actually work? And will this also push into Black Ops 6, right? And I have a conspiracy theory. When we get into the meat of this, I'll show you why I think my conspiracy theory is true, because I honestly do believe some of the cheats are allowed, because I'm not gonna lie. What would make me want to play a game more? Someone getting totally mollywopped, or watching a dude clear 8 people in 60-second clip on TikTok? Those clips go hard. So it made me buy the game. It made me join the game. And I think essentially it's a psychological thing. And from the programming aspect of it, understanding your programming language and how networks and everything work, we'll get into it. Let's have some fun, shall we? Activision says it's fixed an anti-cheat hack in Modern Warfare 3 and Call of Duty Warzone. A game cheat seller says it was possible to target players and streamers for bans simply by putting the phrase trigger bot into game chat. Damn. Activision says it has disabled a workaround to detect systems in Modern Warfare 3 and Call of Duty Warzone that led legitimate players getting banned by Ricochet anti-cheat system. The company says the problem impacted a small number of legitimate players' accounts and all accounts affected were restored. However, Zebleer, who runs the Phantom Overlay store selling cheats, wow. They just got it out there. Selling cheats claims the problem is much bigger than Activision post makes it seem. In detail posted on X, the writer that when Ricochet scanned the memory of players' computers to find known cheat software on the signature, it scanned for the plaintext string reading 547269 trigger bot. As a result, Zebleer says that for quite some time it has been possible to get someone permanently banned simply by sending them a friend request with the phrase on post or posting the message like "nice trigger bot, dude" in the game chat, since it would then show up in their memory. Oh, and get scanned by Ricochet. Damn, that's so simplistic, but that's cold-blooded. A friend request or a phrase, anything. That's actually diabolical. Despite Activision saying it's a small number of legitimate accounts were affected, Zebleer claims that several thousand random Call of Duty players were banned by this exploit before anyone started targeting big streamers. See, this is one of the perks of being a 0.02 KD. You don't have to worry about any of this. Hey, there's a lot of things in life you should be overachieving about. But this is one situation where I'm happy I'm bottom of the barrel. Ricochet anti-cheat identified, disabled, and workaround to detect systems in Modern Warfare 3 calls Call of Duty Warzone that impact a small number of legitimate players. Yeah, there's also something about them saying small legitimate amount of players. No, just say players were affected. The fact that you needed to phrase it being a small is probably a lie. Donald Trump talks about crowd sizes a lot. We know he's not doing a lot of packing, okay? Zebleer points to a Bobby Poof, a Call of Duty streamer, as one of the people banned due to a person using the exploit since October 3rd, before the account was suddenly unbanned yesterday. Like other players, the streamers caught up in the bans. There has been intense speculation and discussion over whether or not Boofpoff was a cheater, even if he maintained his innocence, and some people posted jockey videos. The reason why I think we can talk about transparency in this situation is because we know that on HackerOne, Riot Games and a few others have bounty programs about how they would deal with this, and their total cost now going all the way up to $100,000 to find network attacks with no user interactions, right? They're talking about paying someone a yearly salary for having the capacity to solve a problem for them or find an exploit. And another thing that just makes it a little bit harder to kind of paraphrase with is the last time that Activision put out something about bug bounty, from what I could find on Open Bug Bounty, was as late as 2023. But some of the last ones that were patched publicly and announced would date back to 2016. Now, when you look at Activision's vulnerability website, you can see that there's nothing actually here. They don't have a formal program or a press or a way of doing this, and they always make sure that you go directly to them, which presents a question. And I think the question that people can ask legitimately in this situation is, does Activision play a role in having their system be manipulated by people they choose to have their system manipulated by? That is a very far-reaching statement that I don't think I could make in good conscience, because it stands to reason that they would want their game to be fair imbalanced for everyone. They wouldn't want to show favoritism to a certain demographic or group of people. But if that was also true, influencers wouldn't exist now, would they? That still doesn't equate to the level. There's no way I can put that threshold together, and that's not what I'm saying here. But when it does lend credence to, if they don't have, like, open source creates a situation where people can have transparency. And the greatest form of transparency is just having the ability to do it. But in this situation, it will give people the specs and ability to do it. And Call of Duty has its own miniature bio market where people will pay for metadata just to understand frame data, just so they can be that much better or that much faster. Once the meta of guns is decided, that's what people are doing, right? Right now, it's that those double shotguns in close quarter. But you can go with the DMR too. I'm not saying. But being able to look for vulnerabilities and things of that nature, super interesting. And this idea isn't something that's been floated. It's been something that's been talked about since 6 months ago. And I get it. Like, competitive games bring out the worst in some people. But maybe because I know I've won in life. Clap it, right? I've won in life. I don't need... The thrill of winning in video games is purely aesthetics. But I get why people want to win. As a person who competed on the live stage, I get it. As the 95 Super Mario Smash Bros. 64 champion in ISHA, Illinois, District 6, Pikachu main, yeah, I get it. Winning is important. But their ability and capacity to handle and manage cheaters has to be, bar none, the most important thing. Because if once the game is deemed unfair or unbalanced, it's hard to get into it. It's hard to get back into it, and it's one thing to be a bloodthirsty company that sucks all people's money. Hey, yo. But it's another thing to be a bloodthirsty vampire sucking us all off and not having integrity doing it. Have the ability to say that you're giving other people bonuses and perks. And as a person who works with different game companies and studios and has sponsors, I understand the graciousness and the props that come with privileges. I was presented with a really cool opportunity that I had to turn down because of work engagements that would have had me using some test technology or some untested technology that hasn't been devolved to the public, and I had to turn it down because of work related things. I get those perks, but in the rare occasions that Activision is making a valiant effort to try and fix their system so that it's not banning legitimate people, we have to give them their props. But let me know what you guys think about that. Are you blind Black Ops 6? Tell me what your KD is. What's your KD? Can I run with you? I'm not very good. I'm a 0.02. But I'm a good anchor. I hold all the money. And I always have extra shields. I carry two self-revive kits too. Okay? And I'm very quick at the buy station to buy people back. It's box up X. Real quick. 1 second.